Howdy folks, my name is Teri, and today we're going to jump right into it, and we're going into some Tatooine-inspired terrain for Star Wars Legion, although you could probably use any of these techniques for making sandy desert-style terrain. Now, most of the products here are from the dollar store. I bought a circular small gift box, as well as some Styrofoam balls from the dollar store, and some foam board or foam core poster board, which is also at the dollar store, so that stuff cost maybe $3 or $4, and I went to the hardware store to get some pink insulation foam as well. I got some 1-inch stuff, but for this particular craft, you could do it with 1/2 inch and probably be a little bit better off. Now, the first thing we're going to do is cut that styrofoam ball in half and glue it to the bottom side of the box. You can toss the lid, you're not going to use it for anything anymore. After that, we are going to draw up some rectangles on this pink insulation styrofoam and get them cut up. You want them slightly shorter than the height of the box and a decent width. I cut mine just shy of 1 inch wide and a couple inches tall. Now, this is a step you don't need to do if you used 1/2 inch foam. I'm cutting these blocks in half because the styrofoam is too thick for my purposes. After they're cut up, just glue them onto the sides of your gift box. After that, we're going to cut rectangles out of the foam core, and we're going to cut the tops a little bit narrower than the bottoms. It doesn't have to be too significant, but you don't want them to look like triangles, but you do want them to have a slightly tapered shape. Unsurprisingly, the next step is to glue those onto the insulation foam. Now we're going to take some drywall compound and use it to fill the gaps in between the styrofoam and the box, as well as any gaps between the styrofoam and itself. We don't have to be too precious about it because we have another step to help correct for that, but we do want to fill any really obvious gaps because this will make it easier. Don't worry about smoothing out the texture too much because we kind of want a little bit of that texture as well. My smoothing tool is a small palette knife as well as a business card. Once the drywall compound has dried down, you can then make a glue wash. That is basically 2 parts water to 1 part glue. Now we're going to take some tissue paper and cut that into smaller enough squares that we can cover maybe 2-inch squares across the whole building. Now we're going to use that glue wash to adhere this textured paper around the building. It will not only provide some texture, but it'll also give it that much more support, and it'll also even out the texture of all the styrofoam so it's all the same final texture. Let that glue wash dry, and once it's dried down, we can then take that same glue wash, apply it all over the building, and sprinkle sand on it to give it that sandy texture. Once that has dried, you can do a final glue wash to seal it all in. You can add a little bit of paint to that final glue wash so that you know what you've covered and what you haven't, and it makes it a little bit easier, and your final result will look something like this. Now, the paint I used is a little bit of the paint that I'm going to use for the base coat of this building. It's like a dark ochre color, and a yellow ochre color seemed like the right color, and it's going to look a lot lighter by the end because I'm going to dry brush it after I've painted the whole thing up with this color with some ivory paint, and that'll give it that dusty, sun-aged color. And once you've done that final dry brush, you are done. That's it. This isn't really very challenging technique. It's really about looking for things around the craft store or the dollar store that have the shape that you want. So I hope you go ahead and try this out. Check it out for yourself. This is the final result. And if you like videos like this, be sure to hit the like button, subscribe if you want to see more stuff like this, and leave a comment below if you have any questions or you want to add tips of your own. Video tutorials like these are made possible by my supporters on Patreon, so thank you guys so much for supporting me. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, I will see you soon.